89 on up, homies, the show where you gon' get Cali history. It's told with respect and dignity. Spoken by jihad so vividly. He's taking over the industry, giving y'all some download imagery. Damn you, if you ain't hitting them likes, come on, subscribe. Check out the channel and I bet it will make you decide to tune in every chance you get. It's lit, and some of y'all can learn a bit from this gangster shit.
YouTube, what it do, loved ones? You know the motto, if you can, after the story's over there, hit us with a like, which is a thumbs up, and that'll let us know we kicking our stuff. I want to thank the homeboy G. Lee Deuce for the intro from the legendary Mental historical hip-hop album, Bangin' on Wax. You can reach him on Instagram at Solid From Day One. YouTube, what it do, loved ones? Welcome to another segment of 89 on Up with On the Edge with BJ, APB. And today we had a viewer tap in and donate to the channel and wanted us to cover a piece and a topic on the Menendez Brothers and kind of get our opinions and our analysis from dudes of our kind that then ran this street and indulged in a lifestyle. You wanna say something to the channel?
Yeah, peace and blessings to everybody.
So we gonna dive into the Menendez Brothers, 1989. Before we go in to the Menendez Brothers topic, we gonna just dive into the year. What was going on from your view in 1989, prior to us hearing about the Menendez Brothers case?
Let me see, I was in YA in 89. Yeah, I was in YA in 89 when that happened.
And when that hit the news wave that these teenage adult boys at that time took matters in their own hands and allegedly ended their parents' lives, what kind of shockwave did that bring to the world, homie, that was viewing that, you think?
Actually, it brought a big shockwave because it seemed like it started to be an appearance of a pattern of children starting to kill their parents. They was like the first ones in our era being accused of it, so it was being shot. Well, actually, they were the first. You had the two girls, Patty Austin and Cinnamon Brown out of Orange County, had done something similar to that case. Their case was first in the Menendez brother case. But the Menendez brother case was it was kind of like more famous in there.
Just being from the streets and we dividing the race at this time, what did you think about it as us being black and we live in the street culture lifestyle that we was living at that time? What came to your mind?
You know, the only thing I could think of was like, you know, I didn't know if they did it or not, you know what I mean? But I was kind of raised differently. I was taught not to mess with your parents. So I was like, you know, when it happened, I was like, damn, you know, they killed their parents, you know. Wonder what their parents had did to them to make them react like that, you know. Well, I was like, I don't think they just jumped up and just killed their parents for no reason. I was like, it got to be a reason behind it or something. And that's all I thought was like, damn, you know, what did they do to them, you know?
So diving into, we on the streets at these times, we catch moms them at these times. watching the news or something. Like you said, you was in YA. Some of us was watching, what is that? Good Day LA back then and all that. And we looking at our parents watch it, cover it from the living rooms, and our family members from the living room. What did you think that put on a lot of parents, different ethnicities, seeing that?
It probably put on a lot of parents' mind that I need to better communicate with my kids. And then, you know, some black people, you know, I'm gonna keep it real. Some black people probably was like, oh, wish my kids would. You know how black people think.
Right. Now diving deeper more into the topic and the alleged crime that was upon the Menendez brothers. Once we start hearing about the case, with them kind of explaining some of the things they was going through, what feel did you have?
I felt sorry for them.
Right.
And once the details came out that, you know, they was getting molested by their father and stuff, I felt really like, you know, like damn, you know what I mean? What kind of sick person, first of all, would do something like that to their kids? You know what I mean? Damn what they did. You know what I mean? You mess with them kids, man. You wonder why they reacted the way they reacted.
And do you think the mother was involved, played the part, or had knowledge of this?
I think she may have knowledge of it. I don't think she was involved, like actually doing anything, but by her not doing nothing about it, that's what had them tripping on her.
So now a lot of people, right? Go ahead.
She might have been, you know, watching or something, or telling them to do it, and he won't be so mean or something. You know what I mean? I'll tell him.
A lot of people was wondering the mental state of them dudes coming home. What do you think about that?
I think they're gonna be all right, actually. They got a nice support system, so they're gonna be all right. They got something that a lot of other people don't have coming home. You know, they got a good support system. And plus, they come from money. You know, their family already have money, so that's going to take a good toll in it, too.
Well, we got this new district attorney, and, you know, he had his own way in and his own opinion and analysis on how he felt about the alleged Menendez brothers' crime. And from bits and pieces that I caught, he felt like, you know, he wanted them to kind of like, you know, fess up, you know, about the situation. What can you say about that?
Well, first off was, he had said something like they didn't have no remorse because they killed their parents and went shopping afterwards. So I would like to break that part down to make it where a person can understand it better. Based on that I'm older now, I can understand logic. And what happened was, the dudes went shopping afterwards because they was happy they didn't have to deal with their parents no more. It wasn't that they was really aware that they was going to go to jail and get life, or none of that. The business is done. Now we don't have to deal with them no more. And that's what made them go out and go shopping. Now, if they would have been adults would have killed them people and tried to cover it up. that's the difference in the mentality and the age difference. Because an adult would have knew that once some bodies is discovered, he was possibly going to get the death penalty. So they would have went ahead and tried to hide the body, you know? The Menendez brothers didn't try to hide the body because they didn't feel like they had nothing wrong as kids. They felt like they just got rid of somebody, a problem that was hurting them, and they was in the right, and the police was going to see it that way. But it didn't happen that way.
And that's a good point you said, because I also heard the same thing about it was little strings that was attached for everything that they requested, that they wanted or needed, you know, and we don't know what them strings was. So I can agree with you saying the reason why they did that is to feel like they didn't have to do nothing with strings attached. You know what I'm saying? They was treating themselves to, you know, in that young teenage adult mindset, they was able to treat themselves with no strings attached.
Exactly.
Do you think them dudes have remorse right now? Or been, you know, we know they been having it, but what you think they remorse is right now?
I think more of they get the remorse that they have is more of they wish their parents was alive about it, you know what I mean? Because people talking about having remorse, and sometimes I don't get the logic of I'm having remorse for somebody that done something so heinous to you, you know? But that's the way things are supposed to be, you know, regardless of how it happened, you know. If somebody do something to you, you're still supposed to be empathetic towards them.
We're gonna dive into remorse. What is remorse? Can you kind of give us a description of remorse?
Remorse is like when you do something that you knew you weren't supposed to be doing, but you did it anyway. And you're feeling the full effect of the damage you caused. And now you're wishing that you wouldn't have done it. Not only is you wishing, you're really hoping that you wouldn't have never done it. That's what remorse is.
And you think that described the Menendez brothers?
I don't think it describes them, but at the same time, I'm not them, so I don't know what they're going through. You know what I mean? Everybody handle pain and stuff differently. I know that they suffered every day of their lives being in jail without their parents. I know that for a fact. You know, once they came to jail, they became grown men without a choice. They had to learn how to survive and be on their own.
Do you think they wish, like a lot of different people wish, their parents would have had remorse on them?
Yep. As to a child, the parents is the most important thing, especially before you become a teenager.
And if you could say something to the district attorney on their behalf as a reference, what would you say?
Them dudes go home. You know, them dudes not gonna go out there and commit no crimes and come back to jail. So yeah, I would definitely tell the VA to, you know, don't release them. They're not gonna come back to jail.
And what you think about the family support that they receiving as we receive the news. As we receive the news of their crime, now we get to see the family support. We didn't see that at the beginning. So what do that say? Can you tell us what that say?
So to me, it shows that the family got their back, and the family know what happened, and the family ready for to put an end to everything, ready for them to come home. They've been going on too long. They ready for them boys to come home and hang out and be with the rest of the family.
The viewer that asked about this topic, I got 2 more questions I'm gonna throw up, and we're gonna touch those, and then we're gonna close it. He wanted to know a gang crime versus this crime. What make it shifty? You know, because a lot of dudes that then ran in the gang probably had did something maybe similar, get a chance to come home versus them coming home. What you think the big debate about that is?
Well, the difference is, for one, they killed somebody that was up close and personal to them. Gang members, 9 times out of 10, a gang member, when he goes out and does a murder, he might kill somebody he knew, but he killed somebody he didn't hang with every day. He didn't sit at the coffee table and drink a glass of milk and eat breakfast with. You know? That's the difference. Don't get me wrong. Sometimes it may have happened. A gang member might do something like that, but I kind of seriously doubt it. Because most gang members is parents if somebody was involved in gangs too, and that's where they learn their discipline from. So 9 times out of 10, a gang member looks up to his parent.
So do you think everybody deserve a second chance after so much time that they do for any crime, even murder?
I really want to say no, but I gotta say yes. And the reason why is because if I say everybody don't deserve to come home, then that would mean I don't deserve to come home. Because everybody deserves a chance, regardless of what they've done. Now, do we have to socialize with everybody that's coming out of prison? No, you don't.
Before we conclude this, what would you like to say to everybody that lost somebody to street violence or was a victim to alleged crimes like the Menendez Brothers crimes and stuff? What would you like to say to everybody that lost somebody, a loved one?
I would like to be true. I would like to just tell them I apologize not only for my actions or what I did in the streets, but for all of what I did actions. Because a lot of times when we out there doing things, there's no excuses. I'm not going to make no excuses, not for myself. I knew right from wrong, chose to do wrong because I was doing bad. And when you're doing bad and don't know a better way, you chose the way that best suits you, which way you best comfortable with. And I was comfortable with fucking up. So therefore, I would apologize to every parent, my deepest condolences to everybody that ever lost somebody. You know what I mean, including my family. Because when we out there doing crimes, not only do we kill the person that we after, we kill our family as well. Because when I came to jail on this case, everybody in my family started dying off. All I got left is my mama. And my mama ain't doing too good. So yes, I definitely apologize for everybody that ever been incarcerated, everybody that ever hurt somebody. And I apologize to everybody that ever lost somebody. That ever lost a brother, sister, a child to murder, drunk driving, domestic violence, any kind of way they lost them. Whether it was an accident or on purpose. I'm truly sorry.
We're going to conclude this topic on the Menendez brothers. And I want to say, what word of advice would you throw to them dudes, man? On this new journey that they possibly get granted with to turn another different leaf, man. What words could you tell them right now?
Well, the best thing I would tell them is, for one, y'all got the world at y'all feet now. Get out there and take advantage of it, man, and enjoy the rest of your life. Enjoy the rest of your family members that you got left. Do the things you didn't get to do. Go visit China and move around to all these different places that we didn't get to see. Do something with your life.
And what about to the people that disagree on them having action to come home behind the alleged case they've been doing time on?
I'm going to say, you know, you may not like it, but also remember you have family members too. And one of your family members could come to jail for the same thing. Maybe even you. And you could do that time. And when it's your turn, just remember that everybody was against him too. And when it's your turn with everybody against him, how you gonna make it out? Some people ain't strong enough to make it when the world is against you. You get what I'm saying?
Exactly. Hey man, I wanna shout out the viewer, you know, leave your name anonymous, but I wanna shout you out and thank you for the donation you sent our way for the platform. Just for we can just share our experience and our feelings about a hell of a topic that we all heard about in 1989, the Menendez Brothers. Is there anything you want to say, BJ, before we close out?
The only thing I'm going to say is I just want to thank everybody for listening to us and taking the time to always support us, man. You know, when you're supporting your people, man, that's a beautiful thing because it really helps out. You know, that's where the most success comes from in the world, us supporting each other, just like businesses. And in order for a business to thrive, somebody has to buy the goods about the store. And with that said, thank y'all for everything. Appreciate y'all. We'll be back soon with some more stories and appreciate y'all.
Before I end it, I want to add a bonus clip in there and say, did you ever hear about how them dudes' jailing experience was throughout their jail time?
They had it rough, but they weathered the storm like everybody else. You know, I know they wouldn't cause them trouble, but people took trouble to them just because of who they were. And they made it through it. I think one of them ended up with a broken jaw before or something. But other than that, they've been all right.
On up, homies, the show where you gon' get Cali history. It's told with respect imagery. Damn you, if you ain't hitting them likes, come on, subscribe. Check out the channel and I bet that will make you decide to tune in every chance you get. It's lit, and some of y'all can learn a bit from this gangster shit. YouTube, what it do, loved ones? You know the motto, if you can, after the story, go over there, hit us with a like, which is a thumbs up, and that'll let us know we kicking our stuff.